something more. Put my hand in your pocket, I wanna feel something I haven't before. Was I'm always this way? I wanted you to stay. You tried to pull me closer, but instead I pushed you away.
Welcome to the third session this week. Fourth session if you count Run the Block. We're slamming back into some Cyberpunk. This session is session 3 of series 2, and it'll be entitled "The Devil." The more observant.
Wait, that's me.
No, not even close. That said, last session is where we're picking up from. Immediately so. So we are literally on the north side. You have made it to your rendezvous point. You arrived back at the docks. During the docks time, people got moved. People got moved. Cat, stop doing it. I'm gonna karate chop his face. I'm gonna move this there, and then I'm gonna sort that out like this while I talk. The situation is as follows. During the drive, Jem and Hatter were in the same vehicle, the EMT. Inside of the EMT vehicle, there was a person in the back. Do you recall the individual's name, Chandler?
Wait, what?
Do you recall the name of the individual that?
Yeah, it was. Wasn't it Neon?
Nitro.
Nitro.
You need to make a perception roll.
Send me straight in, coach. Perception.
Okay. You are focused on the driving. You think you hear something in the back, but you're not sure quite what. You kind of yell back there to confirm what's going on. She says she finds the items. You're in the clear. I would assume after that point, you are contacting your contact to secure that situation.
I'd try to do it immediately.
Maybe 15 or 10 minutes after that, Aries, you receive a phone call from Amelia, the fixer contact from the Mox. Maybe even less than, it's like 5 minutes after that interaction just happened. She rings you on the holo. Do you pick up?
Nope, I don't. I forwarded to Severo.
You know Amelia. Amelia is the Mox contact for Ares, who gave her a shit ton of guns so that her gang would be strong and ready to do cool shit. It's not going to your direct phone like your business phone. It's coming through.
Oh, okay. I thought she was like, okay. She's getting patched in through my office.
Yeah. It's coming to you in the safe way. It's not.
Okay, I was gonna say if she was calling my actual agent, I was immediately started to be like,
you haven't handed that shit out. No.
Yeah.
She's calling you through the means of. She's calling you the way you want her to.
Okay, yeah. I pull her up on a Chevron.
She says, "Hey, I know you're helping us out with stuff. I've got a thing I need you to help me out with. Big business. I don't know how to handle the situation, and I'm hoping you can kind of bring some professionalism to the situation. A girl I've been looking for named Nitro. She's currently inside the back of an EMT, being taken up to the north side, up near the Arasaka waterfront. I need you to go and talk to this fixer, and I need you to bring her back to me. I know you've helped us a lot with everything, but the Mox will be eternally in your favor if you can make this happen. I need someone who can make some movements here."
What exactly is her value to you?
Very high. Insanely high. I wouldn't reach out to you like this if it wasn't the case. I need you to make this happen, and I can't think of anyone else who can right now. I tried to get a hold of Hungry. He's apparently in Dustin. I tried to get a hold of Dakota. She's in the Badlands and can't make it in time. You're the only one who I think can actually get out there in the next 30 minutes to an hour and handle this business before something goes entirely fucking wrong.
Ares will kind of like let her sweat him for a few seconds and pull out like a smoke. He kind of fumbles with the package in his hand, the box.
You'll hear her kind of like
Uh,
breathing heavy, and then like there's a point where she breaks before you kind of like get to. She's like, "Come on, what's it gonna be?"
if I do this for you, this is you. And he tucks it into his breast pocket.
Yeah, deal. Oh God, my audio's not fucking shit. Hold on. Wait, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm sorry. Go ahead and say something to somebody real quick.
Hello.
I had a panic attack. Okay, that's fine. We're going. We're good. We're good. We're Gucci. We're Gucci. We're Jin Gucci. Okay, sorry. I just saw that. I saw one of the lines that was totally flat and no green, and I just freaked out. Okay, if that's the case,
Gucci. I like that way better than Gucci.
yeah, because it's more cyberpunkian. So with that being said, you have easy access to call and contact your team as well as Siege, muster them within 5 to 10 minutes, and maneuver yourself via cab because you don't want to military move out there and arrive at the location that was designated by Amelia within 30 minutes. Do you make this happen?
Yep. Yeah, I said I'd do it, I'd do it. And
Hatter, Crown, Cryptid, REM maybe, REM not maybe, Gem and Bunny Doll arrive on the scene. When you arrive, Bunny Doll goes into the EMT at Hatter's request, I presume, just to check on Nitro. And once she gives you a clean bill of health, she's just sleeping, is what she says. But it seems to be a pretty deep sleep. Bunny Doll is going to ask if it's okay if she leaves. She's got some business back downtown. And you would notice that Vix is already on the scene, and Gem doesn't ask. She just walks over to the bike, gets on it, and dips. With that being said, you park closer than you did before, Cryptid, because Hatter knows the area. And you head back to your little secure location. As you're making your way that way, you see two cabs pull up. And the reason why it's two cabs is because they're combat cabs. They typically carry 1 to 2 people. And based on what we've had described of Siege, I'm assuming that he's going to need his own cab. And I'm assuming, too, that you're bringing your team. Is that fair to say?
yeah, definitely.
Okay. So these cabs pull up right outside the market, Hatter. And when they pop open, you see Steve, you haven't played in Series 2. You're one of 2 people who haven't. So go ahead and just introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
So the first cab door opens up, and a tall, well-built woman with platinum blonde hair gets out. She quickly goes around to the other side and opens the opposite door, and then out steps a man slightly below average height, in a very fine, very obviously Militech suit, gold and yellow trim. But the most standout thing is is essentially wearing like this ridiculous skull cage helmet that's kind of fashioned somewhere between futuristic and like retro hoplite helm. And you really can't make out his features underneath it, but you kind of just see the like glowing kind of golden eyes from his cyber optics. And he's kind of just flicks a cigarette onto the street, starts to approach.
Okay. The other one opens up, and a kind of apparently very attractive young man pops out. Again, I don't make the rules. And I'll get a picture of him up and also the platinum haired blonde here in a second. But first, before that, Chad, you introduction and character description.
So real quick, just based on the like how much information was provided to Siege.
You were told to show up at place and defend Ares.
Okay, yeah, if like defend Ares was the goal, then yeah, it is Metal Gear time. So he gets out. I mean, it's like his typical MO he's had so far. So this guy gets out. He's just this huge, like huge, blonde-haired, buff, chiseled
Can't see
face.
Can't see any of that. It is basically just Armor Town, right? Like, but yeah,
It's a big armored kitty cat.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I was
Look at
doing
them
the thing where it
ears.
was like he brings his like carry-on bag.
no. You suited up in
So
the
we're
cab.
rolling right into the shit then.
Yeah, you would have suited up in the cab.
I got you. Then yeah. So he steps out of the one side. If you've never seen somebody in Metal Gear before, you probably would, nobody would hold it against you if you thought that whoever just stepped into the car was like full board. And then he just like slowly walks around to the other side, opens the other door, reaches in, and pulls out an LMG that's like the size of a normal person.
Yep, encrypted. I believe you were at the. Are you using the HV round LMG or your normal one?
I'm using my normal one.
Okay.
Because the other one's damaged. I don't want to damage both of them.
Then Cryptid and Remish, when she's here, will both recognize the gun. It's kind of not standard, so they would kind of get the inkling that you are who you are.
Yeah, he does have the the Ajax that's loaded with the high velocity rounds on his back.
We've seen him in his armor too. So.
This is not the same armor he wore before. He bought this at the market.
Okay.
This is the cream shit.
This is the best armor possible. Yeah.
The Moxes are gonna be so sad when they realize that, or maybe they'll be happy. They've got a brand new canvas, I guess.
No, he's not going to let you paint this.
Nope.
I am not a Mox. It's not my thing.
Fair. So they pop out. Hatter, you see this as you're crossing through the market towards the little back alley that heads to your little rat hole. So that being said, Ares, you were given a bit of information on who you're looking for, and you see the guy from across the way. It looks like he has individuals with him who are possibly combatants, but they're definitely individuals you've hired before, with the exception of Crown. And I know, Steve, you haven't played across the table from Crown, so just Jonah, real quick, describe your character for us.
So Crown is a kind of well-built dude. I don't know if everyone can tell from a glance with his armor on, but like there's no metal in him. He wears kind of lightish, heavy armor, I guess. I don't know. And he keeps his gear pretty, small, I guess. And right now he's wearing a helmet, so like you can't see his face. I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't
There's
know.
a pretty solid fracture on the helmet as well. It almost looks like someone shoved his head into a door frame.
It seems pretty recent too.
Yeah, looks fresh.
Sure.
So real quick, there's a couple of roles that need to happen here. First, Hatter, you definitely have done your research on people, but how deep that research went is dependent on your library search roll you're about to roll. While that's happening, Siege and Crown both need to roll a d10 and then add your intelligence or stat.
Intelligence. Okay.
This isn't a tactics roll, is it?
This is not. This is a reputation roll.
Huh, okay.
Ooh.
You, Crown, keep your ear to the ground and pay attention to the news. You recognize Siege as the guy who just recently murdered a Kang Tao exec. Sorry. This is not the way we're doing reputation rolls anymore. This is, you need to go high. No, incorrect. Don't add your intelligence. Just the 7 is fine. Sorry, Chad. I fucked up. I was trying to make it a face down, but that's not what we're doing.
You're okay. Jonah rolled a 1.
1 is good. High is bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for reputation, you want to get under their rep. So, Siege, your reputation for murdering a lady in broad daylight on the news is a little high. And so, Crown, you would recognize him as a solo. And based on what you saw of it, it was a calculated hit. But it was very sloppy. So you're kind of like, okay. Definitely like a corpo kind of, super goon kind of guy who doesn't give a shit as long as the job's done. And then on the opposite side of that, go ahead.
No, continue.
I was going to say, on the opposite side of that, Chad, when you look over to him, you don't recognize him, you don't know him, but you definitely clearly identify that this individual is someone who carries himself like a professional. So the two of you kind of have this like, shoo, as Hatter and Aries are kind of like, shoo, and then meanwhile you've got the two team members and the two medias on opposite sides, kind of like Cryptid. Obviously, you recognize the help, and you've worked for Aries before, and Rem has done so as well. I think she did it a little bit more willingly though, because she's okay with selling out. Okay. With that said, I'll put on some tense music, and you just tell me how you want to do it. Like, if you want to run away as fast as you can, Hatter, or you name it.
I would probably genuinely look back to Cryptid and ask if she knew them. I can't. Yeah, because I know Cryptid's a media.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would just ask for their opinion on it. Like, do you know these
I know
people?
them. Yeah, I
Are
know
they
them.
are they friendly or?
Toward you? I don't know what you've been up to.
I have a strong feeling it's not what I've been up to, but what our cargo's been up to. And I would ask, are they friendly to you?
I'll walk up.
Okay.
I'll walk straight up to Aries. Hey, bro, what you doing here?
Well, Cryptid, didn't expect to see you here. Seem to be able to get your nose into all types of things.
Yeah, part of my job.
Not here for you. Here to deal with the gentleman Hatter. I believe is you, I presume, kind of gestures towards the fixer.
Well, I've been paid, so I'm just gonna walk off to the side now.
Okay. So, just to make sure the scene is explained, you're not like out in the open and like nobody's like around you. You're like in a market area. There's like vendors who are like selling food. There are vendors who are selling like clothes and shit. It's like a little kind of, niche little market, and there's few customers. It's not terribly busy right now.
Are there any
It's
like outdoor like patio tables at like any food vendors or anything?
There
Is
are.
there a Hungry's cheeseburger car?
There are, but if you offer it, we'll see if Hatter has a counter offer.
Shall we sit and discuss, my goodman?
If you'd be willing to come back to my little corner, I'd be much happier too, because I feel that someone coming in that kind of suit is not here for good news.
And where is your corner?
It would just be, literally, I would just walk you to the back of the market, back corner. Not anything like real sketchy, just genuinely a back corner.
Siege is not letting Ares out of his sight.
Right. Basically,
I would expect the like Militech goons to all move in a single file line. So
you'd be surprised, actually. So what happens is once Victra sees that Siege is on guard and it's going to a narrow corner, Victra's going to move across the marketplace to kind of get a good overwatch position. And I always forget his name. Yeah, he's going to kind of keep close to the cabs. And it looks like he is using his data tablet to secure payment for the cabs to remain.
That guy's name is Johan, right?
No, it's not Johan.
Is it the not Johan?
The not Johan,
Or-
yeah.
I'm triggered.
Sorry, let me go real quick. So
or not Johan?
Victra. And then Severo.
Not Johan.
The
He's
girl,
the pretty guy.
the girlies call it Pretty Wood.
He's pretty. He's
Yeah.
not Shadow Daddy, but he's pretty.
Fair enough.
Lead the way, my goodman.
I would walk over, I'd walk in front of him, no real fear or anything like that. And we just get over to our corner, and I would say, I'm not used to having this many people. So there's not many seats, but I feel like you should have one of them.
Hatter, another thing too is go to education, go down to language and street slang, and go ahead and hit a roll on it for me.
while he's doing that, Crown's gonna shoot Hatter a text. You good, mate?
You good?
I
mate?
randomly have Spanish in my language, no street slang.
Oh, weird. Okay,
Oh.
hit Spanish. We'll count it as street slang for the time being. Okay.
Wow.
There's something weird about Ares' accent, but you don't know what it is. Like, you aren't picking up what it is. It should be street slang, but here we are.
Enough.
It's not Spanish.
It's not.
Cryptid, you would have you've already clocked it. If you want to know what it is he's a high rider. He's not a person who's lived on Earth for very long.
Yeah, I think we got that from the first time.
And
I'd like to follow these guys. I'm just gonna assume I'm part of this.
Okay. If neither of the fixer or the exec like ward you off, but you get a holo text from Crown while this is going on, and he says, "You good?" Like asking if you need him to ride with you.
I would ask him to keep coming along while he's
Crown.
in the area. Yeah. Using that gag order, I can just kind of make a quick head nod and to make sure he stays with me for this.
So basically, Ares develops a shadow, like beautiful like Metal Gear armor, and then Hatter develops a shadow, Kiwi, a Maori guy, just walking up behind, and the two of you kind of like are walking side by side, you solos, and I'm assuming you're both on threat detection. So go ahead and both of you make perception rolls for me real quick.
I didn't actually switch it, so I'm
no,
gonna do
just
the roll
you can
with
do it.
that.
You can do it free in narrative play if you wanna.
Okay.
If you wanna be cool.
Gotcha.
Be
okay.
cool.
We're gonna be cool.
And I'm gonna explain something to Chad and Jonah, which I know they both do because they are both men of a specific age. Okay, so Crown, unfortunately, you're falling into the trap that most teenagers do, which we'll discuss in a moment. And then perception for you, Chad.
Yep, hold on. You said threat detection?
Perception fully, yeah. You're paying attention to the area. Unless you wanted to have bodyguard up, your call.
No, there's no obvious signs of danger right now, which is what I'm looking for.
We're in scan mode.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, you said that was perception?
Yeah.
All right. I've got random menus open, so my character sheet's all googly. Awareness, there we go.
Okay. So, Crown, you're sitting there and you're like, he's got a big gun. All I gotta do is get around to the back of him. And you're playing it out in your head, you're doing that thing that guys imagine when they think there's a threat, or they're thinking that they can be a badass or doing whatever. And that's what's happening in your mind. On the opposite side of this kind of standoffishness, Siege, on the other side of it, you're he's got a constitutional arms liberty. It looks like it's actually spent a couple of rounds. Looks like he's already been in combat today. He's probably a bit tired. You're thinking about fatigue. You're wondering about suppressing him and putting him into cover and then tossing a grenade to where he runs to. He has no real super armor to speak of, and you don't think he has the reflexes to dodge it based on his cyberware. You're clocking shit that's kind of a little bit more sound, and you realize he is a threat because he's not geared up to the nines, and you're pretty sure he's probably an adherent of the Morgan Blackhand mentality of solos, and that for you means either he's very overconfident and stupid, which is more likely, or based on the fact that he survived a fight today, probably against some chromed out nightmare, he's actually good. So as he's looking you up and down and you're looking him up and down, there's a moment where you're both I don't know. Kind of tense. You get into the room. There are 2 seats. Siege, I assume you stand. Crown, I assume you stand. And then Cryptid and Ares, I assume, sit across from Hatter.
Yeah, if he offers me a seat, I'll sit.
Yeah, anyone can sit as long as I get one of them. And I would sit down, wait for everyone to get kind of situated, and just ask out in the open, so why are you here?
Amelia, I know, is a fixer for the Mox. Does Hatter seem like he's associated with anyone?
Amelia is not a fixer. She's a contact to fixers.
Okay.
Hatter is a fixer. It does look like he is a Northsider through and through. He kind of has some Maelstrom extremities to him. He doesn't look as fully chromed out as a Maelstromer, but he definitely looks like he fucks with them.
All right. It's come to my attention that you possess a individual who parties that I'm associated with would like returned. That is why I'm here.
Possess. And Hatter would be thinking legitimately about inventory and realize that he means a living person. And I would ask what parties that interested that they would send, and I would gesture at the solo behind him, you guys, to come for it.
You don't need to know that. You just need to know that the individual called Nitro needs to be handed over to my custody today.
You know, you are like the third person to say that. What makes yours different? What makes yours special? Why can't I just go on about my business? We mostly were here for Chrome, but this was the person the contract was for.
Because a person like me can either help you in your endeavors, making them quite simple and quite profitable, or a person like me can make the next few weeks of your life a living hell.
Says the man deep in Maelstrom territory.
Indeed.
But understood. Understood. With that, are you talking compensation? Are we talking what do I get out of this other than me and my group that I hired damn near lost our lives for this, watching a man rip apart a trauma team like wet paper towel?
Let me be clear, I do prefer the honey over the lash, so I will indulge you. Sorry. As you are aware, as an associate of Maelstrom, you've been on our radar due to unpleasant circumstances in the previous year. I can take you off Militech's radar. I can make that whole little convoy incident disappear. We don't have to bother you. You don't bother us. And we will both walk out of here happier men with a little bit more prosperous futures.
Yeah. That does sound something like I could agree with. I feel that makes it easier for everyone involved. I will give you, because you're being so generous, a brief word of warning. That body comes with a little bit of baggage by some ritualistic side of the maelstrom.
Okay, hold on. I have to interject a couple of things real quick. First off, I apologize. It wasn't that I wasn't paying attention to Elizabeth. I was locked in. I'm sorry. That was fucking. This is some good shit. I am invested.
Gorgeous.
But I do want to kind of ruin it a little bit. Siege and Ares. Ares more kind of like backline for you. Siege more kind of like forward up. In the hollow call you currently have with the two outside, you hear Victra say, incoming, Maelstrom Ganger, I think, heading down the hall, or heading down the alleyway. Do you want me to stop?
Sorry, I didn't get that last part.
Do you want me to stop them?
I'll quickly kind of look over to Hatter. Are you expecting somebody?
No, and if you're being warned, please. You seem to have firepower.
Pause. Sorry, I thought I iterated it very clearly. The buyer, the person who is getting the chrome, is on their way.
Oh.
So you are expecting a Maelstrom Ganger. In fact, a Maelstrom Priest.
Yes, I am expecting someone. Forgetting that person. The buyer for the cyberware.
In the hollow call, I'll tell Victor to stop him.
Stop it. Okay. We'll assume that goes okay. We're outside. And Elizabeth, now that you're here, and again, not ignoring you, just wanted to lock in the scene. You have the opportunity to either be outside. Basically, the scene was you kind of you were listening, right?
I listened to part of it.
Okay, so let me just lock it in for you. You were basically with the crew. Okay, Jem rode off with Vic. Vix showed up and like very quickly took her away from the scene. Bunny Doll checked over Nitro, said she's good. She just seems to be sleeping. It's not like a level of unconsciousness. She should be fine. It may be a problem waking her up, but you should be fine. And then she's like, I gotta go. I gotta get back downtown. And so Hatter sent her off. 2 combat cabs showed up. Ares, Siege, and Ares' team got out of the combat cabs and basically walked with Hatter into the back rooms.
Yeah.
Victra stayed outside. That's the blonde girl that hangs with Ares. She's basically Overwatch. And then Severo, the handsome boy, is with the combat cabs. So inside of Hatter's back, like his little rat den, you have Cryptid and Ares sitting in chairs. Behind Cryptid is Crown. Behind Ares is Siege. And then the boys are definitely doing like, you know, they're fantasizing kissing one another as solos are wont to do.
They're touching tips, but just a little rough.
Yeah, they're like yo, flexing our biceps.
No!
Spectacles. Press our muscles together. We can become strong. So anyways, but so, no homo. So the sitch is that they're in there. You could have gone in with them, or you could have stayed outside in the market area outside, since it might be a little crowded in there. Your choice.
I think she'll probably stay outside.
So then you would see that Victra moves up to a Maelstrom guy who's wearing a black robe. He does not look like the muscle daddies that we've seen so far that are tech priests. He looks a little bit different, and also his cloak is white, not black.
Okay.
That's a choice.
So remember, we kind of understand that the priests that we've seen so far are priests of the cult of what? The spider, right? We've had that
spider,
discussion.
yeah.
Okay. So we're learning more, and we're learning more as we continue on. Someone who may or may not be watching has all of the information regarding how the cults operate, but you don't. So, white cloaked figure is walking in, and we named this individual. I forget what we named them. It wasn't what fucking Jonah suggested.
It wasn't Ron Swanson.
It wasn't Ron Swanson. Lamb.
Right. Thank you.
Thank
you.
You know, that's perfect with the white cloak. I could not have planned it better or wrote it better myself. I'm so good at this. I'm the best at this, actually.
I bet it's got grease stains all over it. Fucking
it is shockingly white. It is crazy white.
I trust that even less.
Yeah, I know. Right? Victor stops him, and and they seem to have a conversation. If you want to get close to that and figure out what's going on there, you can, or you can just let that happen. Your call.
She'll probably watch.
Okay. So yeah, your audio suite allows you to overhear what's happening. She's stopping him and saying, if you're here for the fixer, he'll be busy for just a few more moments. If you could please wait. The priest, speaking with a voice that is soft, but there's this very strange metallic overture to it, similar to the other priests, says, I am very patient. I will wait as you request.
Oh, he's a nice maelstrom.
Some of us are nice.
We'll go with that.
Whatever the arrangement is with whatever, wherever Siege is right now, do they hear that exchange over the comms?
Victor's not able to, for some reason, if Victor is still allowing her voice to be heard over the comms, when the other voice speaks, it's just over the headset.
It's like trying to record something off of a speaker.
Yeah.
I mean, but can Siege assume that that's Victor talking to the Maelstromer?
Yeah.
Okay. So what he will do is whatever position he's in right now, he wants to still maintaining close proximity to Ares.
You are either inside the rat hole or you are outside the rat hole. If you are going to stay close to Ares and be able to see him, you are in the rat hole.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, there's no way you can do both.
This isn't Schrodinger's rat hole.
A door.
And if you walk out of this room, everyone in here is potentially anti-Ares. You are the literal only thing that stands in the way of him getting clusterfuck.
I guess
It's
I
true.
will probably
Sure.
put myself between like Ares and the door.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're kind of like standing right behind him in his seat, and you're also kind of leaning closer to the cryptid chair and also like Crown. You know cryptid's combat capabilities, and you're pretty sure like if it came blow to blow, and again this is no insult against cryptid, but you're pretty sure that if it came blow to blow, you could break her in half, right?
Oh, you mean a solo can beat a media?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Surprise,
No, we
surprise.
don't do it. We're just gonna e-transfer her, and the password's gonna be sellout, and then she'll fight with us.
Like, what do you mean the man who's literally built like a refrigerator?
How does 10,000 eddies sound? Whoa! Oh! I'm a Militech! I'm a the bat. No, I don't think Cryptid's that way. But I know
No,
Crown.
but she
I
would
know
take the
Crown would.
10,000 eddies.
Oh, you know, actually, you said 10,000 is in eddies. That's a lot of van. That's a lot of new van.
That's a lot of new vans. A lot of cheeseburgers.
Oh yeah. Okay, focusing back up. So that combo happens on the hollow, and Siege, you ask if he's expecting someone. He says he is. You signal for Victor to hold him. Then what do you say?
Back to the conversation. I have to warn you, though, that body comes with, like we said, a bit of baggage in the Maelstrom religious sector. My buyer just wanted the cyberware. The body came with it, not even really attached.
Well, sorry, hold on, real quick. Again, just a thing I want to clarify because I thought I had it clear, but not. The cyberware comes from the priest. They took it off of him. Nitro was just an added. What the fuck? It's here also.
Oh, okay. I thought Nitro had the cyberware in them.
No, they took it off of Lamp,
No.
and Lamp was fine.
Okay.
She was just on a table in the ambulance. That's all. Everything else was around her.
She was just sleeping.
Yeah.
I would still warn him about the hyper-religious cult that did try to chase us down in proximity to this body. But I would tell him, I'm like, as long as we have an understanding of what that deal is, I take that as fair trade. Have the body, and if you want the van, have the van. Because it's still in an REO meat wagon van.
If the body has no cyberware in it, why do the priests want the body so bad?
Don't know. Not my job to know.
No, I don't really give a fuck either. I was just being curious.
Oh.
Even if I knew, I wasn't going to tell you the religious side of Maelstrom at this point. Like, I want you gone before anything more happens, or to be the first ones to see it.
What are the chance? As you said, we're in Maelstrom territory. If I take that body off you right now, I'm most likely picking up a tail the second I pull out of here. Yeah.
I would assume. The body's in the back of a REO meat wagon EMT van. So, if you just want to have one of your lackeys jump in and drive it, you can have the keys too.
How much?
Yeah, you can also put their lackey in the back as a tail gunner.
How much does your man there cost to work for a day?
If you're talking about Crown, he can speak for himself.
I only speak to the man in charge.
Well, sadly, our contract has been finished. He's just being nice and coming back here to look your solo up and down. And I would look over at Crown and say, talk to the man. Like,
Well, what you offering?
What's your rate? I don't haggle with mercenaries. You tell me your rate, and I'll tell you if I want to hire you.
Depends on the job. If I'm killing, it's anywhere from 5,000 to 8,000. If it's a bodyguard, it's a little bit less. Depends on what I'm doing.
You're going to bodyguard this body that I'm about to take off the hands of our friend here, and we're going to transport it from Maelstrom territory into Mox territory. You keep that body alive, you get paid.
All right.
Wonderful.
well, I'm glad I can even put people together. Oh, sorry, Jonah.
No, you're good. I do have to warn you. There's a... Oh god, that's the wrong accent. There's a weird priest man. I don't know if he's alive, but he was attacking us at the bar. He's pretty current out. May or may not be alive.
We did actively see that man ripping through Trauma Team, so he is right to warn you, and that's the religious side I was talking about.
Understood. Although, regardless, I will have faith, since we're talking about religion, in these two gentlemen here to see the job done.
Sounds good. Well, if that's our business, I would like to get to my actual customer and not just a good trade deal. But thank you for your time, and I would hand him the keys and wave him on.
Yep, and Ares, just as a sign of good favor, I'll kind of pull out a business card, slide it over to you. It's very obviously like it has Militech on one side, and if you flip it over, it has like a raised lettering hoplite helm on the other, with a small, like, I guess, QR code in the corner.
I will say too.
My office.
I will say too. It is like you know that scene in American Psycho with like the cards. It's like the last card.
Best
Like,
scene.
It's the best card.
It's the so like.
Oh my god!
It's probably something
The
that
thickness of it.
it's something that
the
Hatter does not give a
boldness.
fuck about, but it is very much like the details are very important for Ares.
I would put it just straight into my breast pocket, and again, just wave him on so I can get doing what the next part of the night is supposed to be. And that would include Cryptid. I would ask them to leave as well. And just be like, yes, everyone.
Sure, I'll leave with Ares.
Okay, so when you come out of the back alleyway, you are directed by Cryptid, who knows where the EMT is and where her van is. You'd head over that way. You definitely notice the priest with the white robe, maelstrom gear, standing with the blonde-headed woman. Siege, Ares, again, this is not a sight you've seen before. You may have seen Maelstrom gang members, but this is very eerie and different. It's very out of place. As you're walking that way, and heading to the vans, Severo says, "Oh shit, oh fuck," and over the hollow, we have incoming. And then you would see him jump into the combat cab, and like the doors shut. And as you kind of look over in the direction of, because let me explain the marketplace, because again, I may not have done it well this time, but I did last time. Basically, it's an open air market underneath a bunch of railways on the waterfront. Nearby, there's a very large like boat with a bunch of cargo containers, but this is basically right on the north side of the north side, and it's kind of just a bit to the west of the Arasaka waterfront. So as you're kind of looking out where Severo kind of said that, you would see a sleek, long black AV descending down towards the waterfront and dropping in over the street, so that it is literally outside of the market. I'm going to put everybody on a map, and then I'm going to ask everybody to move yourself around at your pleasure. Bear with me here for a second.
Oh no.
So glad I'm in my office.
This is gonna be fun.
First things first, map.
Unless they're trying to corner you in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do some explainers real quick. This area here is the alleyway, and so I will be putting Hatter's token there. You are not there. You're probably about maybe 10 meters down and behind a door. Okay?
Can you ping Hatter? I don't see him.
Over here?
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
working on it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's in GM mode, sorry.
Oh.
I see what I did.
I was like, I can't find my token, but I'm gonna give it a second. I might be blind. There we go.
So back that way, it kind of just goes into like a recess, and then there's like a storage container wall with like an actual physical security door that's been installed, and then the small little room. We didn't explain his rat hole. It's a desk, one chair on one side, two chairs on the other side. There's like a sewing table, I believe you said, and then also a surgery table.
Yep.
Oh, that's depressing.
I have to fix my suit a lot.
I don't know. It has a sewing table
It's a
in it. Sounds
chop
pretty
shop.
great to me.
Yeah, he does his own. He does his own suit making.
That's why it's all patchy.
Tailoring.
Suit making. It's not tailoring.
It's
tailoring
not tailoring. It's
makes
not
his
that
own suits.
precise.
Yeah, I could
Is that-
I don't
tell.
know. I trust these
If you're
sewing
making
artists.
a suit, it is called tailoring.
No. When you're making a suit, it's called it's called what you're saying. But what I'm saying is he's not doing that. What he's doing is he's taking suits and combining them because one suit gets like an arm blown off, and he's like, I really like that suit. I'm going to take that part of it and add it to the suit. So he is making a suit continuously,
Okay.
and
More like patchwork.
it is not good. Like
No.
like there would be
I look like a bad Tim Burton character.
there would be hours and hours of you scolding him on bad technique if it were real life.
Fair.
That said, Ares, you are coming from here. This guy here is just appears to be nothing more than a street vendor. And then let's see. Rem, you would have been out here kind of listening in, so you're probably just like hanging out there. If you want to move around, you can. Cryptid, you came out with Ares. Siege, you came out with Ares. Crown, you came out with Ares. Yep. Absolutely fine. The priest is I'm going to be using a effectively a proxy for the time being, because I haven't got this guy's token yet. It's very hard to make a white cloak appear in or white hood appear in Cyberpunk 2077, so this might be a character I have to draw.
Oh,
and
interesting.
That 1, 2. I think that's everybody. Am I missing anybody?
I want you to be missing Elizabeth so bad so we can make that joke again.
No, she's right here.
Damn.
Alright. So the AV lands just there. Just as you're watching Severo dive into the combat cab. You hear a loud, which is basically like a warning sound that it's kind of like deploying. I'm going to go ahead and say that you are effectively in kind of a combat mindset. I'm not playing the combat music, but I just want to make sure that I'm stressing the understanding of what is happening here. It definitely feels like this is like a hostile block off, like they're trying to kind of... Oh, sorry, hold on. You guys are supposed to be down a bit. Because you're walking towards the van, which is north.
Is this where we change our combat points or solo points?
Yeah, so if you would like to use free, because the initiative is effectively starting, but there's no real initiative yet, you can definitely switch your points, and then when we do roll initiative, you can change them again. I'll be more than fair on that.
Gotcha.
So 2 solos, feel free to change your combat awareness to what you need.
As we walked past the priest, I'd be able to ask Crown if that's the same guy that you saw.
Wait.
Mm-mm.
Were they down here?
Yeah, they would have been down there to start.
Okay, so
But
I would have been down there.
But you have audio, so you could have been at a distance if you wanted to. If you want to be closer to them, that's fine as well.
I was gonna be close-ish.
Yep, that works.
Kind of like across the way like that.
No problem.
No, that's not the same guy. The other guy, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, you know how you can tell? Because I'll send you a video right now. Here you go.
While that is happening, the priest in front of you just kind of awkwardly is like looking at Ares strangely, and says, like, is just kind of like looking at you very curiously and says, "The veil will be drawn back." And it's again in that weird, like,
Yes,
soft
fanatic.
voice, but with like the mechanical, like, overture to it.
Do that.
I say, don't talk to me.
So
How dare you?
I'm gonna go ahead, since we're not doing everything. We're gonna be doing everything kind of sequentially. Go ahead and roll initiative. Select your token. Roll initiative. Again, we're not in a fight yet. We're just acting as if we are, because it could potentially lead to that, depending on what happens here. And then we'll go
So
through.
wait, are you saying I can pump my initiative and then also dump my points into something else?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. I guess roll initiative with a +4.
Crown doesn't even have to switch his stuff. He's got the perk that says he's always got initiative reaction ready to roll.
Nice. Yeah, I'm rocking bodyguard.
Yeah. Everybody's on the table. Crown, go ahead. Go first.
I should be
Yep,
rocking
sorry,
bodyguard.
one sec.
Oh, Siege isn't on there. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till he rolls, because he might get better.
If you're going for bodyguard, again, the person.
Ooh. Okay. Never mind.
All right. Well, you win some.
Last for you.
Yeah, you couldn't like you
Poor
could.
Jack.
You were doing the peeping, and you did really bad, and he was doing the peeping and doing really good. And then, like, when it actually push comes to shove, the person who's like Johnny on the spot is Crown. Love that. That's funny. If you both keep rolling bad and good alternatively, that will be an absolute treat, a treasure. But yeah, Crown, you're first. Again, the AV lands. This looks like it is a rapid response unit. This is not like a Militech style, like what you've seen of AVs in the past episodes of Dark Skies, where it's like drop down from the sky and start unloading bullets and shit. This is mainly just to drop off people quickly. Those people could be execs, those people could be gunners, those people could be a security detail. You don't know what's coming out of the AV, but it is not a, like, death unit itself.
Yeah, so I want to move the Masamune to the front, because I imagine it's like strapped around his like neck and shoulder.
Yeah.
So I want to move it to the front, hand on the trigger, and then I want to pull. I think this is cryptid right here. So I want to pull her from the back of her gear to behind Crown, and effectively just switch spots.
Yeah, if you're not resisting cryptid, the switch is fine. But cryptid, if you don't
I'll use you like a freaking human shield, sure.
I'm gonna switch.
Okay. That's fine for round one. Hatter, you're inside, and the priest hasn't shown up yet. You kind of, look over at your small little data tablet, which has cameras on the market, and you would see the Arasaka AV.
It's Arasaka. Ooh.
Those motherfuckers.
We hate Arasaka. Everyone
We do hate Arasaka.
Yeah, everyone hates Arasaka. That's what I like to hear.
Don't worry, we hate Militech equally. You're not left out.
When is Arasaka paid you? But Hatter, that's what's happening. Do you want to react to that at all, or no?
No.
Okay.
I'm waiting on the person that was supposed to be showing up and was apparently here.
Rem, you're
up. Keeping an eye on the AV, but fists are always ready.
Okay. Cryptid.
Yeah.
So again,
I got a human shield.
Yeah. If you want to remain here, that's absolutely up to you. Okay.
I mean, if I walk up that way, I don't have a human shield.
That's fair. Ares.
He said, baby calling him.
Yeah, he'll be right back.
Oh, gotcha. So,
Yo, baby.
Siege, you're in combat mode. You're definitely in defense mode. We're just going to assume Siege is going to VIP mode. Or, sorry, Ares is going to VIP mode. So, whatever you want Ares to do, Ares does. How would you like to tactically move? Your way out is the combat cabs, or to the north to the EMT that they mentioned. You don't know what's to the north of you. You are aware that the cabs would be hard pressed to get out. What's the plan, Chad?
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I thought you got us mixed up. I thought you were talking to Steve because it was his turn.
Oh yeah, it is Steve's turn, but Steve's baby dealing. So you are you're the combat expert, is what I was saying. You're the one who drives.
Right. So
Oh, there he is.
yeah. So the combat cabs are kind of off limits. They're in the danger zone.
Yeah.
And there was something north, a vehicle north that we were moving to.
You're heading to an EMT, which Ares has the keys for.
Okay, yeah, then that's where we're going. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
And I mean, with all this stuff here in between us, Siege is going to do his best to move Ares discreetly.
Okay. So then you'll be moving your normal base speed, and the two of you can go ahead and make stealth checks. At the bottom of the initiative, the priest walks down the way and will walk through the door. Entering in, you're kind of looking down at the Arasaka AV and the thing. When the excuse me, when the door opens, you kind of get the sound of the AV kind of being out there. It kind of changes the atmosphere. He steps in, walks up to your desk, and holds his hand out. Again, we're acting on initiative, so just keep in mind that even the narrative parts will be playing out that way. The AV doors drop open, and 5 Arasaka security individuals pop out. Oh, whoops. Nope. Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa, I thought this wasn't a military drop.
It is not a military vehicle. It is a transport.
It is a military drop,
carry
though.
military individuals. But
Oh.
the AV is not going to be shooting you is the main thing. So
That's good.
the Arasaka
Very
individuals
reassuring.
you see that pop out look as though they are an elite team of security operatives. One of them in the front middle looks like a heavy, and then the 2 other ones look like pretty standard Arasaka soldiers. There's a guy who's not wearing a helmet who just basically looks like he's the guy in charge. I'll give you a picture of him here in a second. And I will ask Cryptid and Crown and everyone else, as their characters were alive during the time, do you think that your character would have been around in October and remembers or paid attention to the news at that time? And as
Oh yeah, definitely.
As a player, are you familiar with the interception?
Crown, yes. Me, no.
Got it. Same for Cryptid.
Cryptid would be, but I am drawing
There-
a blank on it.
There were 3 short series games, 4 episodes apiece, and one of them was a crew with Hungry in it that basically did a job where they cut off an Arasaka detail and stole construct chips from them. They had to deal with an Arasaka security team, but you would have seen pictures and video of that, and you would have also noted that in the Arasaka kind of PR bit afterwards, there was one individual who was highlighted as being the hero of the day, stopping these pirates from dealing real damage to Night City's infrastructure. And that individual was known on the news as Captain Sano Kojima, a member of the Arasaka elite. And that's him. That is him right there. He is right there in front of you.
Was Johan alive during that?
Disgusting.
No.
No.
Okay, never mind then. 'Cause I remember
Absolutely
going to a facility with
disgusting.
Hungry.
He's a captain.
He's a captain.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Kind of hoping he was gonna be like an exec and I could wheel and deal with him or something, but he's not gonna waste time with
feel
that.
Like we
He's
should
here.
keep walking.
He's here for a reason. You don't know what it is. But again, that's happening. The initiative is still on. Again, they have weapons, but they have not brandished them. They have popped out and they look like they're hands on holsters, or their rifles are kind of like in an at ease posture. The captain doesn't have any weapons in his hand. Siege, Crown, and probably all of you recognize that his arm flaps like his clothing looks like it's dispatchable, which means that he probably has mantis blades underneath. And yeah, the Netrunner is an Arasaka Netrunner, which is again cream of the crop.
With the crap. All right.
So you're still in initiative mode. You do not know what their goal here is or what their purpose is. So I would like for you to tell me what you want to do next.
Crown's gonna go for his job, and then he's just gonna keep walking up to bodyguard the body.
Okay.
I think I got 8.
Siege and Ares would have already moved. So, what's the lower of the two speeds? What's your speed, Ares? Movement?
I think it's like 5. Yeah, it's 5.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Then we would be back. And I rolled a 17 on my stealth.
Okay. And what did you get on yours, Ares?
I was wrong. Oh, sorry, I think I missed that.
No,
Stealth,
no,
you said?
Yes, please.
Is that body? Yeah, body. I got a 22.
Ooh.
Nice.
Did you crouch down
Well,
and
you
move
got
behind?
22 because you're hiding behind me.
Yeah, you kind of move behind this booth. You're kind of moving as quickly and quietly as you can. So, Crown, you move up, you said?
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right there.
Okay. Hatter, do you hand over the Chrome?
Yeah, have I been paid or do?
That's how you paid everybody, yeah.
Yep, I just hand it over and say, and I would say kind of the same warning I said to Ares, which was, hey, a group of black cloaked
He's
maelstrom.
not- you can tell that he's not even listening as you're talking, but you continue reciting, and you see him take the shard, like the internal cyber deck, install it into the back of his head after pushing his robe down, and then he takes the other piece and slams it right on top of that. And he looks directly into your eyes and says, "We three wish to be free." And as you're kind of like talking, he just interrupts it and will like turn around like he's gonna just walk out. Hatter, done. Rem?
Gonna look at the blonde lady whose name I forgot and just kind of like
Extra.
good. And look over at Arasaka, and then that's it.
She looks like she's kind of looking and watching Siege and Ares move, and she's kind of holding cover, but she also looks like she's very intently looking at the combat cab, because Severo jumped in it. So
still kind of standing by, so.
Yep. Cryptid.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I forget. Well, I mean, if I just double move, yep, we're just gonna keep going this way.
Okay.
Was Crown stealthing or no?
No.
No, you're just walking.
And I'm not gonna stealth. We're just walking.
Okay.
Totally normal Tuesday night. Wednesday night. Whatever.
All
A
right.
night. It's a totally normal night.
Ares, you know that this next step is going to be a complicated one. If you're going to try and move across the divide. It's up to you if you want to try and go for it with Siege and continue moving along with the other pair.
Or if this is what Ares wants to do, Siege can run interference, basically cause a big distraction, and kind of draw attention somewhere else so other people can get away.
Right now, does Lark and Rem have any incentive to be with us right now, or are they just kind of trying to get themselves out of the situation?
You would say
My
I'm
van
chilling.
is that way.
The same way it just so happens to be on the same way we're going, essentially.
Yeah, they're parked right next to the EMT.
Yeah, I guess it'll be my action to. I'll send each of them essentially like an e-transfer with a password on it, pretty much with like a comment just saying like "work?" ?
I'll send a message back saying sometimes ?
There's like 2,000 eddies
Fist?
attached to it.
Siege.
I mean,
Are we?
Yeah,
Cool.
that would have
so-
required some like action. So if he's moving unstealthily. So I'm going to say that he's probably not going to try and dip out of that position. Is that fair to say, Ares?
Yeah, I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row before we get thinking. I don't seem essentially gathering my assets if I can get it, whatever I have available with me.
Are we behind cover right now?
It's very light cover, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, Siege still has a shield, so
Sure.
but he's got light cover wherever he goes.
As long as you get
But
the
as long
drawn.
as Ares is protected, he wants to make sure that Ares has his.
Okay. Do you want to pop your shield?
I mean, yeah, he's got the perk that lets him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I know, but you got to pop it. So it's out. Okay.
Well, it's not a pop-up shield; it's just a ballistic shield.
Oh, yeah, you just have it already out. Okay, cool. Then yeah, you're just holding defense. Okay. Bear with me here for a second as I do this next beat. So as you're kind of moving and moving.
Do you want me to roll stealth again if I'm trying to stay concealed?
No, you can maintain the same stealth check. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It wouldn't have gotten worse.
I gotcha.
So at the bottom of the initiative, the man in the middle speaks, and it seems like it over the din of everything that's happening here, the AV, the hushed whispers and like confused motions of the people in between, it seems to clear all of that as it seems to broadcast out, and it seems to like catch inside of your hollow calls somehow, and you can hear it. And this is true too of you inside, Hatter. You hear him say, Meridia Valencia Santiago Vasquez, hold, freeze. You are being detained.
Melidia Santiago Vasquez.
Good thing that's not my name.
Nobody recognizes the name except for one of you.
Who the fuck is that?
And I will be putting myself on the initiative.
I mean, I hope it's
When
not.
he
If
says
it is, I
that,
forgot.
the team moves, and Cryptid, you were not moving stealthily, so they are approaching you with weapons up now.
Cryptid?
I'm gonna bounce those 3,000 eddies back, and also give 3,000 eddies to every single other person in our group here. So Crown, Siege, and Rem, and Ares. I'll give you your extra. I have the money for it. So,
What the
Word?
I
fuck
would
is that?
like to make the
question
comment
mark?
You're sending
that
us
you said
3K?
earlier. Just to be clear, I'm not paying anyone.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
killing me
well,
right now.
That changed
Difference.
really fucking...
real quick.
You're sending us each 3K?
Yes.
Oh god, okay.
I'm subtracting it right now.
Okay.
And it's gonna come with the message work? Question mark?
You learn from
Get
the
same
best.
text.
Is what you do. You learn from the best. You learn from the best on the fly.
Exactly.
You get the same text response that Rem sent Ares.
Anyways, I'm also not going to try to not react and just keep walking, by the way.
Okay. So, Crown, you are up. You can see that their team has moved towards the open space. The one that is directly across from you also has a Arasaka Masamune. It's very interesting that you try to use proprietary gear against the fucking corp. It'll work. I mean, it's reliable as shit. Which is unfortunate, for them. But yeah, it looks like they are coming up and they have weapons trained, and you're pretty sure safeties are off. It is a firefight. Right now, it is a firefight.
And they're coming at me. That's
Yep.
all I know.
That is
Okay.
true only if, because again, Cryptid, you did what you said, and that's fine. We moved through that. That's fine. But
Yeah.
you said you're looking like you're just going to continue walking, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna pop my mask though.
Okay. Terribly not important.
No, but
they
it's
know.
it's for style points.
Okay.
Alright.
Crown.
So fuck, they're coming at me, and I don't know.
Yeah, you're pretty sure that they are going to be able to stop you and her from getting to that position based on their positioning there.
I don't know if I'm gonna be alone or not. So instead of choosing this firefight, he's just gonna grab her up and then just start booking it to her van.
Okay. Picking her up would be an action.
I'll do it.
Okay. And then
and then I'll
moving with
move
her
8
will
with
reduce your
her.
speed. Your speed should already be
Okay.
reduced from your armor.
Mhm.
Right, light armor or medium?
Oh, it's flak.
Oh yeah, it's reduced by 4.
Oh shit.
Unless you have a perk that reduces it less. And then
Oh.
with her, it'll make it even less. What's your speed? You said 8?
Yeah.
If
No.
you're 7. If you're or 4? No, it's already set to 4. We're already locked in, so it'll be 2 with her if you're carrying her.
Shit.
You
Okay.
could get her to cover.
I wouldn't.
Let me pick you up and drag you backwards.
I will say, you have 2 very different styles of solo, and somehow the one wearing Metal Gear is faster than the one wearing, like, not.
Yeah.
That sucks.
He's really
Some
good with a
robot
pistol,
leg.
though. Like, insanely good.
I thought it
Yeah.
was 8 this whole fucking
No.
time.
It's fair.
damn.
Like, his pistol karambit is
The
very...
armor makes it less.
Gotcha.
So you're
Okay.
dragging me that way?
Yeah, I'm dragging you to this piece of cover right here.
Okay.
Okay. I believe you have 3 pieces of self ice, correct? Cryptid?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You see, and it seems like they let you see, like they're not even trying to hide it. You see that a netrunner enters into your neuroport. You watch the first wall break. You watch the second wall break. You watch the third wall break, and then your optics shut off. You cannot see. You
That's
currently
expected.
have the what is it called? Damaged eye. Or sorry, lost eye. -4 to range attacks and perception checks, including vision.
We lost her eyes?
Her eyes are like staticky.
Mhm.
And
Jesus Christ.
that'll be for an entire minute, by the way. Your eyes will be down.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Yep.
Rem. Oh, sorry, not yet. Apologies.
Yeah,
This
no,
one
it's
will
them.
advance. And he's like raising the rifle up to you as you move the girl. Drop her, he says, and it looks like he's only giving you one option for it. As a free action, do you relinquish Cryptid and drop her to the ground?
Fuck, yeah, I'll drop her.
Okay. He doesn't shoot you this turn.
This turn.
This
We can be
guy,
diplomatic here.
this guy moves to here, and Siege, you recognize Game when you see Game. Guy who's at point is definitely kind of out in the open to the flank, but the second you realize there's an opening there, the other guy's locking in the Masamune of his at you and Ares. And you're like, but we were hiding so well! And it just seems like, oh god. The heavy goes out into the middle, and he's just standing there, and again, Game recognizing Game. Siege, you would see that he is wielding a just a pretty standard heavy submachine gun, but it looks like it has a grenade launcher combination on it, and he has switched to that and is basically locking that in and pointing it at Cryptid and Crown. The boss is like basically slow walking, like badass walking along the way, and the Netrunner's back behind the barricade. Rem. Very observant gal. You're able to see all of this as well. It's just the more tactical minded stuff, you're not really clicking that shit.
Right. I am tempted to just go after the Netrunner.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just gonna, let's see, run is only in a straight line, right?
It's in a straight line if you want to get extra movement. If you're just running and going around in a circle, you don't have to go in a straight line. You'll move twice your speed. If you were running in a straight line perfectly, like there's no obstructions or like things in the way, you can move 4 times your speed.
Okay. So I could go to there,
Yep.
I think.
Do you need the ruler again? You mean the
No.
ruler again?
I like
Right
that.
there?
Yeah. 12
Okay.
squares.
When you get to there, you kind of drop low behind the barricades. These look like they're pretty solid, like defense barricades. But when you get there and you kind of look at him running around the corner, the Netrunner's like face kind of turns and looks over at you, and you see him kind of manipulating a cyber deck on his wrist, and he kind of looks at you kind of curiously. You don't know if he's clocked you as like a threat yet, or not.
Right.
Hatter, the priest is walking outside of your space, and you're inside there. There is no secret escape hatch though. Because as we described,
Oh, I knew
Yeah.
you weren't gonna give me something that fun.
You're in a back corner. You are hidden in
Yep.
there. The assumption is nobody's going to care about you, and the door is
Yep.
pretty sturdy. If you want to, after the priest leaves, just close the door, bar it, and just exist. That is absolutely an option.
I would, because I know things are happening out there. I'm not deaf.
And you have cameras on it.
Yeah, I would do a quick surveil of the camera and go, those aren't Maelstrom, and shut the door.
Okay, shut it, close it, lock it.
Yep. And I would get at I would take my jacket off, put it on the bench, and start working in fixing the rips and things from the last attack.
Sure. So yeah, again, this might be a bit of a boring session for you, based
That's
on everything.
completely fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure that, but you do live, so.
Yes, I will put my feet up as I'm doing things and have a great time in my corner.
Cryptid, sight is a problem for you at current, and you are laying on the ground because you were just deposited by Crown to the floor. So you are prone as well. How would you like to exist?
I would like to try to crawl stealthily in the direction I was heading previously.
You can move 2 spaces
I'm gonna
closer
try to
towards
keep
the board
moving.
edge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting close to the building.
Ares.
Feeling my way along.
This isn't your fight, but you're pretty sure that if they recognize who you are, they're probably going to continue your collateral.
The guy who's trained on me in Siege, did he like give us any like verbal say like don't move or anything, or he's just looking at it?
He's got the barrel pointed at Siege, basically.
All right, then I'm just gonna move towards Victra, my human shield / best friend.
Okay.
I'm assuming Siege is gonna move with him.
Yeah, on your initiative you can.
Okay, I thought we were leaving. But yeah, Siege is just he's gonna keep pace with him.
We're leaving. We're just not leaving the way that the person they're trying to murder is. We're gonna.
No, they didn't want to murder her. They wanted to detain her. That's very
Oh,
different.
It's worse.
It's their business.
Especially considering it's Arasaka, it's way worse.
Yeah, this is going great, by the way.
And then can I just have Victra come up to me and deploy her shield? Just in case.
Yeah. Victor can deploy her shield and move up to you. That's perfect. She'll kind of intercept that guy. So, I want to make sure it's very clear, and I, again, do not mean for this to affect anybody as a player, but everyone is role-playing how you're supposed to. Like, you're definitely keeping in mind that you're a character in a world that could horribly be viciously murdered. So thank you. And Lark, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
For my actual action, John, is it possible for me to like essentially open up a channel in case this named NPC like does clock me and wants to be like, hey, like what the fuck are you doing here kind of thing, just so it's not just dead on sight?
Yeah, so what you would know is...
Like, I'm open to talking if that's an option.
You're trying to talk to him?
No, if he wants to talk to me.
Oh, okay. So what
I'm not going to engage him, but if he wants to engage me, I'll talk.
What I'm going to say is go ahead and make me a business roll. And Siege, go ahead and make me a perception roll.
I'm all business, baby.
Yeah. He already knows you're there, and you are pretty sure he's already calculating that you are going to end up as collateral damage from this. If a firefight starts for any reason, you are definitely dead if they can make it happen. You haven't rolled your perception, but I'm just going to give it to you, Siege. That guy, the captain, similar to like Militech training, he's basically the person who understands the entire assessment, has basically seen the entire field of battle, and has planned 20 steps ahead. He is the chess master. Whatever is going to happen here, he already has an idea of how to counter and react to it. These are high-level professionals, and you're pretty certain that Ares' presence here means that if things do go off, it's gunplay time. It is. There's no choice. You are going to have to defend Ares. Ares is definitely marked here.
Shit.
But for you, Crown, Cryptid's kind of like crawling, trying to escape, and there's probably a bit of a panic there.
She's
and
trying to keep her cool, but this
you're
is attached to Adriana, isn't it?
We'll discuss when things happen.
Okay. Okay.
When I kidnap you, you will know.
There are probably thoughts going through Cryptid's heads like, why is this happening to me? But what
I'm pretty sure I know why this is happening.
What I want to make sure is very clear, though, is Crown, when you look at her in her pathetic state, and again, apologies, it's just what it is. I'm just calling, like I see him. She's crawling the long passageway that leads to where the cars are parked. Yeah. They would be able to get behind her and drop 2 clips into her before she even got a sight of the van. Mm-hmm. Even if she was running at full speed. So what your brain is like, it's like, yeah, that's not going to work.
It really isn't. Crown is good, but he's not that good.
You're literally running through a bottleneck, and shooting down a hall is a lot easier to hit people. There's no cover.
So Crown, feeling kind of defeated here and put into a corner, he's just going to back up and give them the space they need to collect their bounty. Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna take off the Masamune and then just because he doesn't know
and raise his hands. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't know if he's gonna be alone.
I can't ready actions, can I?
Yeah, you can ready action.
Okay, because you skipped my turn.
Oh, did I? I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
So I went ahead and moved myself, but I would like to ready an action that if they open fire in Ares' general direction, I'm gonna suppressive fire everybody who's not Ares or Victra.
Yeah, you can suppress a fire in an area, so it'd basically be like these 2 here, or you could suppress.
I'm just saying right now, my friend group is these 3 people right here.
Agreed, understood.
And one of them is me.
Absolutely. So Crown, you're backing away, hands up, rifle down. You're kind of just letting it happen. It's going to go to them. They're going to move to her, and as they're doing so, the one that's towards the back, you see him rifle up, kind of keeping his eye on everybody. The other one drops the rifle, pulls a pistol, and pulls a pair of shackles with the other hand, and starts walking up towards Cryptid, pistol up. He walks to here, and then moves right past this little cart, and is now looking straight down the barrel across the marketplace at Ares. Kojima's just kind of staring at you, and it's this very kind of stern look on his face that then shatters into a smirk. The big gunner at this point has taken over kind of the control position, and you can see that his heavy submachine gun grenade launcher changes its position from pointing at Crown and Cryptid to now pointing at the Militech crew. He hasn't fired. He's just kind of locking in, just like you're locking in. That's the sitch there.
Where's the tumbleweed?
What's that?
Where's the tumbleweed?
Yeah, I know for sure. The Netrunner, you would note that as you kind of run around the corner there, Rem, and you kind of look at him, he kind of gave you that look, and then you see him kind of nod, and then you see his symbol appear inside your Chiron. He has jacked into your net architecture, your Neuroport. He's not breaking any ice that you have or anything, if you have any, but he's in there, so the threat is kind of present.
Oh, these assholes are good.
It's our socket, baby.
Good. They're so good, I hate it.
That's why I'm staying in my room.
How the fuck are we getting out of here?
You're fine if you don't shoot. Nobody shoots. If nobody shoots, all that happens is Cryptid gets taken.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Cool. So yeah, we're basically like the tension. The tension is there.
Yeah, she did send a lot of people money to try desperately get them to help her here, but it's up to you whether or not you're going to take that and make things happen here.
Nah, it's up to Ares.
Pretty desperate situation.
I respect the hustle, but I rejected it as soon as it came through.
Okay. Rem? You're muted if you're talking.
That was just me laughing nervously and saying "fuck."
Yeah, it might be.
that's the general vibe right now.
It might be a situation where the last hour is just me talking at Lark and role playing with her. Like, in all honesty, like it might just be a situation where that ends up happening. Which, again, I would enjoy, and I think she would also enjoy because it's very good what I have planned. But I don't think she would enjoy it as much as I would because it is pretty good. It's so good. But
Oh god.
if you want to start a scrap, I mean, again, they bleed. They are people. They just are very well trained and highly equipped individuals, is all.
Right. She'll just kind of side eye the Netrunner, and then she'll try and casually just look at the stall.
Okay. So you're trying to play it off like you're not going to do anything, and you're not going to do anything, right? You're like, you're
No,
out.
I'm not gonna do anything.
Okay.
She's just kind of like trying to embarrassedly like play it off like fair
Okay.
play.
And just to be sure, no one else is doing anything, right? There is no way you guys are fucking with these people. Is that what we're doing?
And then she rejects
Yeah.
the transfer that.
Crown is
Okay.
gonna send her money back.
Then we're just gonna go to narrative play since we're not in combat because no one's actually stepping up. Cryptid, you're kind of panicked and you're still crawling, and then you feel the press of a barrel against the back of your head, and then you would feel the cuffs get put on and your body get jolted up. The icon of the Netrunner inside of you breaks, and you would see it kind of like cause your sight to pick back up. And as vision is restored to you, the guy's kind of dragging you back. As that's happening, the two with the rifles are kind of locking her up and kind of moving her towards the captain. The captain is looking still kind of with a smirk at Ares and says, "Militech presence here out on the waterfront. Interesting. You're the new guy, aren't you? The one that came from up there?"
Gonna spark a cigarette. Just enjoying this sweet salt air. It's a lot better than the dust I'm used to.
Of course. You're not here for any other reasons, traveling around with a known terrorist. Fair enough. Enjoy your day. And they move past Crown, and like they've got her, like basically like carrying her, moving her towards the captain. The captain looks at you. His smirk fades away that he had when he was talking to the corpo, and he kind of nods. They walk past him and start moving her towards the AV. He spins on his heel and starts walking back towards the AV. The heavy gunner is backing away from everybody, gun still up. And as he kind of gets to this point, the Netrunner kind of moves to here, Rem, and you would notice that he's basically running flak for him, so that when he passes by, there's no opening for you to try and get in and get to him. They all eventually back away with Cryptid in tow and will board the AV. The doors close.
Fuck.
And it takes off and heads away.
Damn.
Just out of curiosity, I wasn't aware that she knew about Rhea, right?
You are aware that she knows about Rhea.
Then I look at Siege and I'll just be like, well, that's how you get two birds stoned at once.
What's the benefit of Arasaka learning about Rhea?
Oh, my sweet son
What?
child, you'll see. You'll see. All these machinations will come to light.
Okay. I mean, he does not get paid to know things.
The priest who was walking out at the time, it would have arrived probably at about the same time. Hold on a second here. He kind of comes out and is near the Ares people, like the crew that Ares is with, and he says with his very weird soft voice and mechanical voice, "Blood will course through the fiber optics, swirling and blending in the digital, opening the gates of the abyss. Death within arm's reach, the metallic taste of his scythe on my tongue. I will tug the tangled cables of fate. And he's like walking as he's saying this, and you hear him like in the distance say, a hard reset, a blue screen, a brain reformatted. I am ready. And he's just walking towards the street.
We can't shoot him, right?
You can
'Cause
shoot
that's
at him if
weird.
you want to. That would be
Okay,
interesting.
that's some weird shit.
Notice how you said, I can't shoot him, can I? I said you can
Some
shoot
dogs
at
just need to
him
be put down.
if you want to. He did
Yeah,
just,
start another
It's
fight with
clearly
one of
got
those priests.
rabies.
he did just install a very powerful cyber deck and an adrenaline booster, like without even going to a clinic.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
It clearly has rabies.
Them my homies. That's who Hatter runs with.
Those are my guys.
Those are my dudes. That's why I didn't come out of the office. Those weren't my dudes out there.
Any other role-playing beats from everyone else before I just go into Operation Interrogation?
Like as the AV takes off, Siege kind of lowers his gun and he looks at Ares and he says, well, I guess she's not going to need 3K back.
Oh, he's not sending it back? Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Ares will
That's certainly
laugh
a choice.
and offer. See, this is the first time Siege Ares actually offers you a cigarette.
Well, we know who's getting hacked next.
Well, I mean, like, you know, the danger's out of the way, so yeah, he like takes off his helmet and like fucking smokes a cigarette.
It's more the gesture. It's probably the first friendly non-business thing. Probably interaction.
Definitely like kind of caught him off guard, and then he was like, yeah, the danger's gone. I might as well like relax a little bit.
The AV ride is tense, Cryptid. They have guns trained on you. You are seated on a seat that has like a secure bar that's been put down over you. Your arms are like jostled behind you in this kind of metal chair, and like it's kind of a bumpy ride because the thing's moving very fast, and you're just like absolutely just like crushed, like, and the whole time, like the gun's trained on you and everything. This Kojima guy is just looking at you, like the whole time, like very focused intently on you. Eventually, the door opens up and you are inside a very lavish, very beautiful looking AV landing area. If you played the video game, you would recognize this as the AV landing port for counterintelligence.
Yeah.
And the group would pull you out and walk you down a long hallway after having a scan done on everyone. Kojima would then dismiss 3 of them after very kind of sharp words in Japanese. I don't know if you speak Japanese in character or not.
Nope.
But it does seem that the second the scan happened, all of your cyber audio suites, everything, seems to have been kind of diminished. It's like they've somehow put a buffer on your cyberware to make it so that it doesn't operate correctly. And you're very certain that your recording, it's just going to be static if you pull the chip. They walk you in, and then they move to another long hallway. You can see these offices, like they're kind of red glass cubes, basically. People kind of looking out and kind of interestedly like staring at you as they move past these places. And eventually you are moved into a long hallway that scans you once again. When the door opens, it's just you and Kojima and the Netrunner. And you go inside, and it's this very big office with a beautiful window looking straight at Militech's sign. You can see the koi fish that circle inside of the center of Corpo Plaza. It's a very beautiful sight to see. And amidst the kind of bright light, everything inside of the space is completely dark and red. And you can see the silhouette of an individual standing against the kind of backdrop of this beautiful corporate vision. Kojima says something in Japanese, and the individual at the window replies, "Leave us." And Kojima kind of looks at you a bit concerned, and then says something in Japanese again, and he says, "Uncuff her." He does so, but you can see that Kojima, this is the first time he's shown emotion that wasn't arrogance, is a bit concerned when he does so. And then him and the Netrunner exit out the door, and the door shuts behind you. Still standing there, just the back of him silhouette, he says, "Have a seat."
I'll sit.
You're probably asking yourself why we picked you up.
Among other things, yes.
Feel free to put forward your thoughts on the matter.
But why don't we start there?
I don't mind you hypothesizing. I'd like to know what you're thinking.
I'm thinking this has been a long time in the running.
Well, at least you understand.
So what is it you want to talk to me about?
At least you understand it's the case that you've been running close to the edge. What I want to talk to you about is not really important. I don't want to talk to you about anything in particular. I want you to talk to me about something. Firstly, does the name Meredith Stout mean anything to you?
I think I've heard it before.
And you are aware of an individual named Hungry?
You mean the burger peddler? Yeah.
Some might think of him as such, and that's a fair assessment of his exterior. But I think you and I both are aware that he is a high-level fixer that works with the Valentinos in the Glen, has performed some high-target and high-value jobs with edge runners like yourself.
So many fixers these days, it's hard to keep them straight.
As long as you're working, I'm sure. And they don't need to know about your side hustle.
They would if they paid attention.
I don't think they care as much as you and I do.
You're going to tell me that you care?
These corporations that have been stagnant in Night City since the time of the Red, after Militech did what it did to Arasaka at the Night City Holocaust. They forced us out of the country. And when we returned in power, defending Night City, protecting it from the NUSA's efforts to reunify. Night City was never theirs, not since its inception. The power has always remained in the hands of the corporations, but Militech, arrogant, just like the Americas that fell before. They think that everything that man has built here in this city, that Richard Knight envisioned, is theirs to take, to squander, to burn. I have no such illusions. I understand it would be hard for you and your ilk to trust what I say. But I'll be honest, your opinions don't fucking matter to me. What matters to me is what you know. You have information that you've posted, but it's been very purified. I know it's not the raw matter. Hungry was in Rhea. Hungry was hired by Militech to deal with Rhea, to try and cleanse themselves of the sins of their past. And I think there's detail that you might have missed. Your expose could have been much more damning. You've also been there. You obviously recorded there. Fortunately, your information didn't give the exact details as to how one would enter that place. And those are details I so dearly seek. You see, Meridia, I have...
Meridia?
Apologies, my...
You're so close.
It misses me sometimes. My normal, my root language is Japanese. But thank you for recognizing the effort. If I can get into that black site, I understand that so much damage has already been done by the conglomerate of corporations tricked by Militech to move against the city and against the freedoms indentured here. But if I can just get there, well then, I could bring to justice those who put it together in the first place. And I could also make sure that those who empowered them, like your friendly burger hugger, would be dealt with as well.
You assume that everybody does something because they want money, or they're working for a corporation.
You notice how I did not offer you cash?
I understand. You're talking to me. You've obviously studied me. Sometimes we take jobs. We know who we're taking them from. We despise them. We take them not because of what is put up front, but because of what it means to us on a deeper level. I do not think Hungry is the type to collude with Militech for the sake of Militech or for the sake of money.
He raises his finger and taps it like that. When he does so, this display behind him, which looks like a window, but becomes a display. It's crystal dome technology. You see it disappear, and you would see a video of Mega Building H3, and the date and timestamp appears to be from right before the raid on Rhea, and you would see that a Militech AV is coming down to land on it. You then see him tap his finger again, and you'd see heat signature maps and like detailed satellite view of the space. You would see a heat signature that is obviously Hungry, and a heat signature that appears to be a woman in a very sexy business uniform. They spoke before Rhea. She paid him to send you and your allies down there. I don't know if that was told to you before the mission, but he very certainly did it for money. You may not have. You may have had a higher purpose, but the ones you treat with are no better than the ones who made that place.
I'm afraid it might be true that there is very little humanity left in this city. But that doesn't mean that you have any more than any of them.
I'm not asking you to be my friend. I'm not asking you to trust me. In fact, I'm not asking you anything.
No, you're asking me to give you the keys to something that you don't deserve.
Oh, I didn't say I was asking. I'm allowing you to give it to me freely. I assure you, there are methods which I can employ which would allow me to get the details I desire, regardless of your contempt of our corporation. And you know I have that power. I could have you soul killed in a minute, and then I'll just extract the data from your engram. No issue. But again, threats are the weapons of the weak. And I have no desire for you to feel threatened. And you're kind of like hearing him say that, but obviously there's, everything that's come up to this point that kind of makes you...
Yeah, giant eye roll. You just said, now I'll have full fucking security detail out to collect me. Like, yeah, clearly I do not feel threatened.
I sense
It's about setting a tone.
Sorry, he turns around, so first time seeing him, but he says, I sense that you're being facetious, I believe is the word. But I understand that you might feel threatened based on everything that has happened up until this point. I let my guards go. I let you free of your shackles. You're not free to go, but I want you to feel as free as possible. I want you to understand my point of view. And I don't think that you do quite yet. You have a hatred of corporations based on your history. A well-detailed history that we've been able to extract through very corrupted methods. And when I say corrupted, I don't mean the tactics we used. I mean that it seems you've tried to cover up your past quite a bit. I understand that someone very dear to you had issues with a corporation. I understand that because of that, you have issues with the way corporations work. And based on every single, and he kind of jots his finger again, and you'd see all of your scream sheets and things kind of appear on the wall behind him. A very detailed history of doing your very best to use the power of your words and your actions to strike back against them. In 2046, taps his finger again, and you'd see a video playing. It looks like it's a city, a view of like the city. You can kind of recognize it as Santo Domingo, or kind of what became Santo Domingo. And he would say, in 2046, Militech, while in control of the defense of Night City, due to their lies regarding the events of the aforementioned Night City Holocaust, where terrorists, led by their organization, detonated 2 dirty bombs inside of our headquarters here, killing thousands, and causing problems untold for people for decades to come. Even during that time, and it's exactly at that moment you see 2 jet planes fly by and drop explosive devices on Night City. They
Wait, like in the flashback or in real life?
in
Like
the video
real
on
time?
in the video on his
Okay.
that he posted.
Okay.
And the timestamp says 2046, and yeah, and he says the initiator of that attack went on to become, and he clicks another video, and you would see like a detailed schematic of the Striga, and also the individual inside the Striga, Biopod, and the individual was none other than a vaunted mercenary hired by their corporation. They called in that attack and deployed it without prejudice on the citizens of the past. Militech
remember that.
Militech does not care who they hurt. Militech does not care about the people. And I know it's very hard for you to believe that we do. But unlike Militech, we do not want to control by fear. We want to control by peace. We want to control by lifting everyone up to a point where they can realize who they are supposed to be. He taps his finger again. You'd see a Biotechnica logo appear, and then flash to Violetta. Letty, do you recognize this woman?
I've seen her a couple times.
She worked in a department that was covering up a very horrendous series of affairs, specifically how Militech and Biotechnica were linked inexorably due to this Project Lazarus. You're aware of the details. You wrote an entire expose on it. She died a hero, some would say.
Some would say.
And like your friends in the Raya Black site, and he hits the button again, and you would see Kang Tao file open up, and then you would see the corpses of Mooney, Elmano, remnants of the armor that Carl Stormed, aka Zip, was wearing. There are no remnants of Buzzard, so that's not on the file.
He was vaporized.
Yeah, no, he was right at the blast site. It's actually, you're actually surprised that any part of Zip survived. That's the part that's like, oh, damn, what a hard ass old dude. And I forget. Primetime.
Elmano.
Primetime. I had mentioned Elmano. You would notice that Elmano's like left side looks right side is completely like gone or missing, and you're kind of thinking back to the other night, and you're like, it was a right hand on their chest. The tattoo was like a right hand. Just another.
It did say something about
another Lego block. I'm just dropping in there. Sorry, just wanted to make sure that's clear. But you would see their corpses in the Kang Tao files pulled, right? And he would say, Militech didn't care about them as long as the job was done. Clicks it off after leaving it on for quite a bit longer than you're comfortable with. And at that point, I need you to roll 4d6.
46.
You lose that much humanity.
Oh, you're a cruel man.
Yeah, I literally just she's been mentioning the trauma point throughout the entirety of this like 2-part series.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm ready. This is gonna be a very sick and twisted reveal, but
yeah. All right, so we are down to 5 humanity.
Like 5 total.
Yeah.
You have a 0 empathy.
I had
now?
20. Hold on.
I gotta go to your sheet. I gotta check
because I just.
That's not good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
I just dropped a 0 empathy.
Your humanity score is currently a
5.
Yep.
Hold on.
So you are basically okay. Hold on, cyberpsychosis. Because this might just solve. This just might solve this. I apologize.
So did Kang Tao recover the bodies?
Yeah. Remember how I said that after the Rhea quote unquote failure, Militech couldn't go in, and so Jumbo was already in contract with Kang Tao and said that Kang Tao would go down and like clear it. That's what happened. The reason why Mooney's hat got to the Andersons is because the corpse was found. And the hat obviously didn't fall off him because he's a fucking badass. But yeah, very much dead from the fall.
Died with his boots on.
Yeah, he definitely did. Elmano was basically split in half as a part of the linear frame of Carl snapped off. It like left them. And that's how the arm remained down there and was picked up by laborers that were brought in after Kang Tao left. Yeah, it's all been there. So if your empathy is 0, cyberpsychosis, character exhibits strongly at least 5 traits from the hair psychopathy checklist. Do your best to role play accordingly. However, that means you are still role playing your character, but you are in cyberpsychosis. So if you've seen the anime, the best way to describe that would be you're more in kind of like David mode and not so much in main mode. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, because it's been so long since I've seen that.
Okay. Let's go ahead and just discuss it a little bit more then. Kind of a bit more on like the actual. So on the hair psychopathy checklist, there are 20 items that are kind of present there. Glibness, superficial charm, grandiose sense of worth, need of stimulation, proneness to boredom, pathological lying, conning, manipulative, lack of remorse or guilt, shallow affect, callous, lack of empathy, parasitic lifestyle. Like all of these traits are here. I'll send you the link in the chat, and it's a real thing in real life. So just pick 5 of those and lock in, and you don't have to
Okay.
tell me what they are. Just role play accordingly. Now, if your humanity goes below where you're at, and you have negative humanity with a 0 empathy, your character is no longer your character. I take your character and I do what I want with them, in a sense that I am absolutely going to try and exhibit the most psychotic response to the events that are currently present. Like, if that had happened, if I had dropped you into negatives, you would have been trying to kill this guy right now. Because
I was very aware of that.
yeah, because it would have been like, fuck you, how dare, and like just like absolutely flabbergasted. Now you might have gotten some good licks in, and I would have probably had you roleplay or roll the dice to see if you did it. But it would be very much the case that the security team would have pulled you off of him and killed you.
God, why does this have to be white?
Okay, so
Grace trying to blind me.
she just went full Dan, never go full Dan. That's good. So he says,
Oh, Dad.
they don't care about who they kill, as long as they get what they want. You must understand. It is in everyone in Night City's best interest that Militech be stopped. They plan to bring the NUSA in again. You remember what happened during the Unification War in the South Side. It wasn't pretty. And we have our limitations. We won't be able to defend against the full weight and power of President Myers. So I ask you, please, give me the location of the Rhea Black site, and give me the information I need to confirm that Hungry is every part the enemy of the city as I believe him to be.
I'm coming out to Hungary.
You talk about control. You talk about control through fear and through manipulation and through peace. Have you ever considered, perhaps, that this is not people are not something to be controlled? You have this illusion of control that you cling to. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And now, if what you say is true, if Hungary has been helping corporations sit on their misdeeds and is getting paid by them to do these things and is using us, yes, I'd love to uncover that as well. But when will you fucking learn? The harder you push, the worse it's going to get. The escalation will not stop. Even at peace, people won't be happy with peace. If there's no freedom, there will be no peace.
While you're talking, he's walking over to a side table, and you see him pick up a crystal decanter and pour a glass. Once you finish and you say, there'll be no peace, he kind of looks at you and he says, would you like something to drink?
No, I would not like something to drink.
He nods his head and picks up his glass and then kind of walks over. And he stands pretty close to you, holding the glass. You can see that he's drinking it neat, whatever it is, and it's kind of a brown liquor. And he lifts it up to his lips, kind of smells the glass, and then takes a sip. Very calculated, as you're sitting there kind of like absolutely just annoyed at that. And he says, you have a very different point of view than I do. And you've seen things different in the city than I have. And I respect your perspective. I understand you feel downtrodden because what has happened to you, to your friends, to your loved ones. And I cannot bring them back for you. When I say I mean to control via peace, I do not mean that I am wishing to put the yoke on the common people of Night City. Absolutely not. to each the sweat of their brow, to each what they need to survive in this world. In Japan, we have methods to ensure that even the most downtrodden of us are well protected and well cared for. Anyone who works in Arasaka is given a roof over their head, 3 square meals a day. There is no want. The desire for work amongst the members of this corporation is so strong because of the peace that we offer, the safety that we provide. We are the best security company in the entirety of the world and that the world has ever known. We seek to protect. So when I say control through peace, I mean the hearts and minds of people won by effort.
What you seek is a monopoly, and you cannot convince me otherwise. You're just another avatar for another corporation that's hungry to eat as much as it can from the food pile that is created by the very people you're pretending to protect. This is not. But I understand something. Like, you want to get rid of your competition.
No, you don't understand.
No?
He smiles and he just very quickly takes the entirety of the glass, walks over to his desk and sets it down. He then walks over to you and he offers his hand. Take a walk with me.
I'm not going to take his hand, but I'll walk.
You get up and kind of like just, sternly. You see him kind of retract his hand and he kind of nods like in acceptance of that, places his hands behind his back and walks towards the security door. It opens and just maybe 10 feet down you can see that Kojima and the Netrunner are there. The Netrunner's eyes kind of flare orange and Kojima kind of like, see him kind of like moving his hands ready to pop the mantis blades. And the guy you're talking to just kind of does one of these and they kind of like lower themselves. And Kojima says something in Japanese and in English, and he kind of stops him mid-sentence and he says, "You can speak in English. There's no reason to hide your words from this individual. Her and I will be taking a walk downstairs. I'll be letting her go." Kojima's like, "I will be making sure that the higher-ups are made aware of this. I do not care." And he will walk past Kojima and the other. And as you're walking, you can see people kind of like looking at you, gawking. And as he's walking, he says, he's speaking very openly. He doesn't seem to care who's listening. And he says, "I do not seek to rid the world of my competition or to win over something on a corporation simply for the purposes of business. You're not understanding what I'm saying. And I understand because your perspective is very different than mine. I cannot tell you how to see through my eyes, or to feel how I feel. It is impossible. All I can do is treat you as a worthy individual and equal to me, so that you see that the words I speak are not lies." He hits the button on the elevator and kind of looks at you, just waiting for a reply and also for the elevator.
So you bring me here, you flex your muscle, you say everything you think I want to hear, you show me things I do not want to see. Not again. All for what? To let me go so that I come back and give you what you want?
Oh, you misunderstand. The door opens and you walk into the elevator, and then a couple of people are in there, and he kind of gestures and they clear out, and the elevator door's closed. And as he kind of stands across the elevator from you, he said, "All of the intelligence that I needed has already been pulled off of you while we were speaking. Additionally, we know where you're located, and we are already acquiring the information located at that area as well. I did state that I could get the information off of you, and I could be violent about it or not. And I hope this does not abuse our trust, but I don't wish for you to leave empty-handed either. There is one more piece of information that I very much require. And I have shown you what it means to me regarding acquiring this information and knowing it. Your friend or your benefactor, Hungry, has something very important to me. Something that he stole. And something that was created by much more violent men. It is a small data shard. Inside of it rests an individual's soul that was taken from them, ripped whole cloth. And a dear friend of theirs must cling to them very dearly, for he keeps trying to secure it from us. I need it. Not to bring about a corporation's end. No. To allow a person's soul to be put to rest. The door opens and you're out in the lobby of Arasaka Tower, which, again, you've never been in before. Mm-hmm. You can still see that there are some portions that have remnants of where gunfire was had, but there's still kind of work being done in this space. It is pretty common knowledge that sometime last year in the latter portion of summer, a rogue individual named V walked in the front door and shot her way through Arasaka security guards and made her way down into the bowels of the tower. This is a well-known story on the streets. It does look like some of these wounds, so to speak, have been left there intentionally. And he walks with you. It seems like the echo and just the space is and the weight of the area is a space that kind of, it doesn't allow for you to feel like you're really able to talk. If you wish to say anything in this moment as we move to the door, you can, but I will explain that the second you speak, you're going to hear yourself kind of echo in the space very loudly.
No, I wouldn't speak.
I
understand acoustics.
Yeah, you're kind of looking at this room, and it's like it is meant to intimidate people when they first walk in, and it's definitely doing its fair share of work. He gets to the front door. 2 security operatives look at him, confused. He raises his hand, and that seems to be enough for them. You're allowed to pass through the barrier, and you step outside of Arasaka Tower, out the front door, past throngs of employees trying to get in so that he can get to work, and he makes his way out onto the street, right there at the base of Arasaka Tower, and at the center, or kind of at the ring of Corpo Plaza. He gestures. The end cart station is, I think, that way. I've never used it. I perhaps should try to make an effort to do so. It's just, I haven't had much time. I appreciate our time together, Cryptid. And I appreciate, despite your unwillingness to relinquish it, the information that I was able to gather. The information regarding the chip, though, it's not something that you know quite yet. And it's something I need to know. He flicks his details over to you. You see his request to allow his contact information to enter your phone.
He has access to shit anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you see his contact, appear, and the name that appears on it is Doji, Doji, and he would say, "The pleasure was all mine, I'm sure." And he'll wait until you start walking away before he goes back inside. If you want to talk to him any further, you're certainly welcome to.
Why does it have to be me?
Because I think that you're the type of person who will want it. I could hire soulless and heartless monsters to do what I want. You obviously saw that that's within my power. But I feel that if you do it, you will do it with care. You will do it with detail being something you focus on, and you will do it courageously. If I wanted to, I could send down a strike team onto Mega Building H3, scour the location, find what I was looking for, probably kill hundreds of civilians in the process. You know it's within my power. But as you and I both know, those civilians did nothing to deserve that fate. I'm not Militech. I would like this to go cleanly, so that all wrongs are brought to justice.
What are you offering if I do this?
Well, of course, the sense of justice that I mentioned, but if there's something more you desire, I am more than willing to hear what you would wish of me.
You said you don't want to get rid of your competition, and I wonder why.
Competition is necessary. It breeds healthy rivalry. Militech is, in some cases, a worthy opponent. Its founder definitely was. There are members of Militech who I could see as a friend. Based on his reports and reputation, the individual you were traveling with when we abducted you, and you see him kind of like wince at that word, seems like he would be a worthy opponent.
Well, you have many opponents. It would be nice if some of them, perhaps, were a little bit more subdued. You have a lot of competition.
Oh, we know.
I don't think you need all of it.
I appreciate your perspective on this. And of course, I would not stop you from fighting my enemies, my rivals. If you feel like you have some power to stop them from harming those who don't deserve it, then I would not stand in your way.
Seems I have much to think about.
And I again appreciate your time and hope you are able to help me with this problem.
Whether I am or I am not, that remains to be seen. Whether I will or will not, that also remains to be seen.
Oh, sorry. I did say I did not want you to leave empty-handed. He flicks over something through the conversation, and you would see that he brings out your government file, your name, your full name, full details regarding your history.
Mm-hmm.
You did not ask me to do so, but I have pulled all details regarding your person out of the government databases and NCPD databases. You do not exist to anyone besides Arasaka. If you wish for me to delete the files in our system, I will do thus. But, unfortunately, that means that the files on the other ends will be able to be restored. But for now, your incognito desires will be secured by Arasaka's finest.
Oh, damn. She just turned heel.
You don't know yet.
Nobody's seeing this for real.
I would appreciate in the future if you are to call me off the street that you use my correct name.
Of course, Cryptid. I will say this to you. How you got out is a fabrication and a story that you can make up on your own. All they know is we took you. And he smiles and will walk away.
Fantastic. I'm gonna go get a cheeseburger.
Yeah, I do believe this is going to be a short session, folks. You guys did great. I did expect that some of you would kind of go a little ham-fisted and go for combat. I will be honest.
I was very close.
I am a lot happier that you didn't. That was a very
Yeah.
good session for me. It's been waiting in the wings for a while, and the timing was too perfect. Because again, we're going to go a little bit behind the screen here for a bit.
I was kind of close to.
You were right
I mean-
near the waterfront. Like, there was no way they
Yeah.
would not pick up that she was there. No
Yeah.
way. Yeah. So she's been a person of interest for a while. Ever since she dropped that story. So
Especially dropping that story after being very, very directly told not to by Meredith Stout.
yeah.
And she was like, we'll kill you and everybody you love. And I'm just like, there's nobody I love left alive.
Well, now there's
On you.
there's a fun problem with that because we haven't even
You
gotten
think I care about me?
we haven't even gotten into the
Yeah.
Militech aspects of that, and you've been working alongside a Militech operative who has not come
Yep.
to you like we have to kill you or anything. Not even aware of that.
Mhm.
But yeah, the rivalry is strong. We'll just see how it goes moving forward. But yeah, there was no way you were getting that close to the waterfront and me not pulling it. Honestly, though, if Corey was available to play tonight, we would have been on a little bit different a story. It would have been a rompous ride through Night City in cars, which, again, I can't wait to do.
Yeah.
We're going to do it. But,
That could have been so rad.
god damn, I'm sorry, everybody. Like,
Yeah, I'm sorry we had to bore the shit out of you with a.
I
I still had fun.
It's like a
I thought-
movie.
I thought the
It
fact
was
that
like a movie.
everybody did the thing that the characters in my mind were going to do, like nobody actually pulled the gun or did, like the second that Jonah said hands up and dropped the rifle, I was like, this is gonna actually work. This is like, so I had a really great time with that. Folks
I want to
watching,
let you know, I
Cryptid does
fully
have
fucking
like
knew.
at
I knew.
least 2 texts from Rem.
the second Sokka showed up,
Yeah.
you're like, they're gonna say my name, aren't they? They're gonna say my name.
Yes, not only that, but also like he's talking to me. I'm like, oh, they're already gonna get all this information. They're dampening me. I'm sitting here. This is like being held on a phone call while like with
Yeah.
the FBI. Like,
Yep.
nah. And so that's why I wasn't answering. I did not give any information up verbally.
Yep, no, you
Mhm.
haven't
On
turned heel.
purpose.
You haven't turned heel yet. Correct. And the thing that is very surprising.
Technically speaking.
The thing that's very
Technically
surprising to Cryptid is he let you go. So that is an interesting factoid.
I feel like that
Well,
only
you guys
works
gotta drag me
against
back in.
Cryptid that he let her go.
No, you're
Oh, yeah,
you're
no.
a smart cookie there, Chandler. Thank you for paying attention.
Yeah.
You recognized game.
Yeah, the moment you said she got to walk out of there, I'm like, my guy would never touch that in a million years. That is now tainted property over there, and there's murder waiting to happen.
No thanks. Yeah.
But that's okay. As far as you know, I escaped.
Yeah. She's gonna tell a tale, and whether you believe it, it's entirely up to some dice rolls. We'll see how it goes.
Ooh, maybe
True,
I'll get
true,
to
true,
make an
true.
interrogation roll.
I
Yeah.
have a
about-
question
Sure.
about Aries' gig. Did we do that? Did
Oh.
we finish that?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Good point. We got a couple more minutes here, Leah. Let's go with that. So, Aries, you go to the EMT, and inside is Nitro.
Yeah, shit.
She's
whole reason we're
unconscious. She's not dying. Oh, like unconscious. She's just asleep. It appears to be a monitored sleep in the back of the EMT, and you have the keys to the vehicle. Now, Hatter, you had mentioned a kind of focus on the shotgun. Did you take it before the EMT left? I mean, if you want a shotgun, you can have a shotgun. Is what I'm saying.
No, that's
No
not his
shotgun?
style. It would have stayed in the EMT, and
So
with my blessing, Crown can have it.
yeah. Do you let Ares and Siege? Do you let Crown have the budget arm shotgun in the car of the vehicle?
Budget arms go wild, dude.
Budget arms is actually a
Crown,
subsidiary
Crown
of
will
Militech.
pass. Crown will pass.
Oh, then you can sell it.
As a store brand gun.
Yeah.
Budget you.
Okay. Do you want it, Crown?
No, he will pass. That is a
Just
shitty
so,
gun.
I want to make sure it's very clear. You know the shotgun that Rebecca uses in
Right.
the anime Edge Runners, and also the one that you find
Yeah.
in the video game that's hers. That's a
Yeah.
budget arms Carnage.
Yes, but that's modified. This one isn't modified.
All
Oh,
right.
hell, if
And
no one wants it,
Brown-
I will say I took it then, because I thought at least one of them would want it. I'll sell it. That's fine with me.
Or use it. It's really fun.
I don't have the skills for that. I have feet with knives, John.
Fair enough. I'll put it on someone's sheet eventually. Okay.
Mhm.
So then, I assume that Rem, you have that all on footage. Cryptid, you
The
would,
Arasaka stuff?
yeah, that whole
Yeah.
Cryptid, you would realize that everything regarding footage up until like the second you walked out, everything before that or everything after that has been expunged from your memory chips. So you have no
that's
footage
nonsense.
regarding the Arasaka engagement.
What about the micro video?
Nothing for her. Oh, you're talking about for you, Siege? Yeah, you never said you started playing it. Micro video isn't just always running.
I have previously stated it's running all the time.
I think it
Especially
has a
on
limiter though. Like it has so much data it can have. Hold on.
Yeah, but he dumped basically after every mission, he basically just dumps it and sends the video to Militech.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think you have that much time. Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay. Again, I'll allow it, but for future reference, this time it's fine. What I'm going to say is it does have a memory chip requirement, so you have to have a memory chip plugged in. So you can't really. Yeah, I guess you could. You could clear the memory chip each time you send it. That's fine. Yep, we'll keep it up that way.
I was gonna also say if
it doesn't say it's
anyone, well, mostly if Rem wanted the video of all the angles that I would have,
fine.
she can come get it free of charge. I don't really care because it just wipes at like the end of the day or when however long it would be.
She would be checking with Cryptid first to
Well,
see if she even wants that.
We'll get to that when we get to that, but we definitely had like an hour long kind of. There was a bit of, me kind of rushing through it, but it's definitely a longer process than it appeared.
Oh, for sure. Well, that's why I said in the chat that Cryptid has at least like 2 texts from Rim, just like tapping in, like, "Are you good? Are you okay?"
Yeah, no, she wouldn't have those texts because they wouldn't have been able to go through. Yeah, nothing got through to her. They won't even show up later because the cell service was basically being obscured by Arasaka.
Yeah. Well, she'll just like be sending them like intermittently, like throughout the day, just kind of like until it potentially pings.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Try to keep in contact. And then
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. What do you do with the REO meat wagon? You just drive it areas back to where you want to go with your team?
Yeah, I'm planning on just taking Nitro to Amelia.
Yep.
Yeah, done deal.
Yeah, and Severo will get rid of the combat cab so you don't get charged for them. And then you folks head, the Ares crew picks up in the EMT and heads into Mox territory. You're not in any way kind of accosted or anything. Nothing crazy happens that. And Hatter sits in his seat, well paid, well fed. The rats are
I've been
eating
happy.
good. The rats are eating good. I think that's that. Right?
So,
Woo, 2 jobs.
Did Ares pay me anything, and what was the IP?
We'll get to that in a bit. We're still on stream. I'm just making sure. Is there anything else we need to cover? We do that off screen always. No worries. No worries. You want to eat too, baby. I get it. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna feed good.
I'm just gonna whatever shitty. I don't know how good quality Siege's recording is. But whatever he sends me, that just shows Lark getting picked up by Arasaka. I'm just adding it to her
Cryptid,
dossier.
Lark is thirsting after
what
like a
dossier?
Dossier that let me know knew you existed in the first place.
The dossier.
The dossier that I have on everybody. That is either
about-
very long or very short.
I was about to
really
say,
long.
I was like, also, I would be spreading that throughout Maelstrom, like, hey, this person got picked up by Arasaka. Like, be warned.
Right. If they show back up, like, that's a problem.
Yeah. In our like this deep into our territory for no reason, that's not a good sign.
They said her government name. Like,
Yeah, your full fucking government name.
No, for sure. Maelstrom is
Wow.
definitely
Thanks,
going to.
John, for taking me out of the game for the next foreseeable future.
No. That's not true. Because Hatter may not hire you direct. It may be the case that you're like bundled in with Mox, and then when he sees you there, he's like, "Fuck." Oh, but I mean, again, Ares is gonna want to play ball. It's interesting to him.
Just
right?
remember, you guys, you want to fucking ice her, that's great, but like,
We'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
you've,
still
you've
a
got
kid.
you've got information now from inside Arasaka that all the cooks in the kitchen are making the same dish. So
It really
if
just
you wanna flip,
You
can
want
set
to
up a
flip
meeting.
again? We can just keep flipping. We can just flipping the cryptid coin.
We could go to the Summer Olympics and the gymnastics.
So I'm definitely rambling and just stalling at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and say
Yeah.
that the stream's good. That's all for tonight. Thanks for watching those that did. We will see you. We're going to have some pickup games coming up next week. I think we're going to do one Wednesday and then one kind of earlier Saturday. Because we're going to have some cool people in both of those games, I believe.
Whoop, whoop.
Keep an eye on the scheduling stuff. And for those who are watching, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.